a model.
Incredible. Amazing.
And welcome to the most explosive, most must-see show to ever hit the Bedford TV airwaves, or any airwaves for that matter. North, south, east, west, backwards, frontwards, sideways, diagonally, any which way you look at it, the Wrestling Connection. I'm your host, as always, your connection to the wrestling world, the adorable felon, the oh-so-svelte, Mr. Ken Hill. Alongside me, well, just off screen, is he's here, the one-stop magic shop, of the Wrestling Connection, Mr. Nick Giglio, and of course, Curtis from the Bedford TV's oh-so-popular video game Fight Club, Mr. Prakar. Prakar, welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Now, today's show is all about Smackdown's Elimination Chamber. That's right. Today is our Elimination Chamber paper preview, view. Of course, brought to you courtesy of Bootios. They make sure your connection ain't booty. So anyway, like I said, Elimination Chamber Elimination Chamber started all the way back in 2002. While on air, it was considered the innovation of one Eric Bischoff. It was actually the brainchild of course, our beloved COO, Triple H. Now, essentially how the Elimination Chamber works is that you have 6 participants. 2 start out in the ring, 4 start out in chamber pods, and are released at intervals of 5 minutes. Now, depending on now here's the thing. This is an elimination match. You can be eliminated via pinfall or submission. There's no disqualification. And pinfalls must take place inside the ring. As far as anything goes. You can slam your opponents on the steel. You can throw them through the chamber pods. You can mesh them up. You can mesh them up against the steel the miles and miles of steel chain surrounding you, and even slam you onto the steel grates surrounding the ring. Now, this proves to be one of the more brutal yet entertaining matches that we've seen throughout the years. So much that, much like Hell in a Cell and TLC, it was given its own pay-per-view. Now, safe to say, there is a big match on the card here. The Elimination Chamber match itself, featuring 6 participants, including the WWE World Champion John Cena, 16-time World Champion, I should add, all competing for the right to bring the WWE Championship into the biggest, the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 33. The Rose Bowl of professional wrestling, the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. But of course, I mean, it's apples and oranges. You can't compare the Super Bowl to WrestleMania and vice versa. It's not a fair comparison for either. WrestleMania is the WrestleManias of WrestleManias. That's all there is to it. But bottom line though, there is a lot to go through. There's actually a very interesting card, both in terms of storylines going into WrestleMania, as well as personal storylines that may come to a head right here. We have got championships on the line, including the SmackDown Women's Championship and a very interesting tag team turmoil match to determine the Smackdown Tag Team Champions. But to kick things off, let's start with the Smackdown Women's Championship match. That is Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. Now this one's very interesting. This one just kind of came out of nowhere on us. Naomi, for 2 straight weeks, including on the Royal Rumble pre-show, has pinned Alexa in non-title matches, in tag team matches, has pinned the SmackDown Women's Champion twice. Now it seems like Naomi has her number, and it even seems like this is being destined for Naomi to win, considering that WrestleMania is going to be held in Orlando on April 2nd, in Orlando, Naomi's hometown. So you would think, oh hey, they're gonna have her win it here, so she can bring the championship. Contraire. That's not the case here. WWE usually has this thing where they either have the hometown hero lose in their hometown, or have a big time win in the hometown. It's usually 50-50. It's usually a coin toss. So it makes me think that they're going to hold off on the victory here for Naomi and have her win the championship on the biggest stage possible. So that's why my predictions for this is that Alexa will find some nefarious way to retain her championship, as per usual. She usually finds some underhanded, sneaky way to retain, or basically just straight up beats her opponents. You never know. Sometimes it's good to have a clean victory for a heel once in a while. But bottom line, I imagine this will keep going on until WrestleMania, where Naomi can have her true moment in the sun, so to speak, with the Sunshine State. All right, so that's gonna be my prediction. If we could get Nick into the studio, I'm hoping we could get his prediction for this match.
1 second.
All right. Apologize for the delay, folks. We're a little, we got a skeleton crew going on here at the Wrestling Connection today, so we're might underhanded. Hopefully, we are due to hear from the new King of Pay-Per-View champion, Brian Dorrington Jr., and we'll hopefully chime in with his picks as well. All right, so while we're waiting for Nick, let's move on to the next match. We'll move on to the next women's match, that being Mickie James versus, Mickey, not Nikki. Mickie versus Becky Lynch.
Sorry.
Now, this one came about when Mickie James made her return to the WWE roster, made her return to SmackDown Live, and cost Becky her women's title rematch versus Alexa Bliss inside a steel cage, dressed up as La Luchadora. Now, the whole reasoning behind this, Mickie states, is that, okay, she claims to have been responsible for the Women's Revolution going all the way back to 2006, when she upset Trish Stratus, the legendary, the Hall of Famer, 7-time women's champion Trish Stratus, at WrestleMania 22 for the women's championship. She feels like she was responsible, and she feels like she hasn't gone to due credit, and has had a big chip on her shoulder that's been stewing for the better part of 7 years. She finally decided to make her return, and she wants what's rightfully hers. She wants her due respect from the rest of the women's roster, and the thanks for kickstarting the Women's Revolution all the way back then. Now, Becky is simply out here for going up against Mickie for revenge, okay? She knows that she forged her own path. Mickie didn't open doors for her. Becky opened her own doors. That's what Becky's feeling right here, okay? She wants to shut up Mickie, and she wants to prove to her that she forged her own path. All right, Mickie didn't start the Women's Revolution. While she does deserve her due share of respect, it did not give her the right to get involved in matters concerning Becky and her pursuit of the Women's Championship, of which she was the inaugural holder of. She was the first woman to win it for SmackDown. So Becky's got a chip on her shoulder as well. So I think that will make for a very interesting matchup right here. I think this will be a very athletic contest between the two, a very intense personal contest. Now, where I see this coming out, I mean, there are a number of factors going into this. For one, it's Mickey's return singles match on the main roster. Yes, she had a return at NXT TakeOver against Asuka, And of course, she had the six women match at the Royal Rumble. But this is her first singles match on the main roster. So that sort of precedent would mean that Mickie takes the Duke here. On the other hand, it seems like that Mickie is in the Chris Jericho role right here. She's coming back to help put over the newer talent. She's the part-timer. She's coming in. She looks fantastic. 2017, and the fact that she still looks as good as she does speaks volume to how strong and just how great a wrestler she is, that she keeps in this kind of shape. That being said, though, so I do feel like that Mickie is here to help put Becky and the others on the SmackDown roster over. So I'm going to go with Becky to take this one. Like I said, this is one I'm kind of split on. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I'm leaning more towards Becky taking the Duke here, just so because she needs the rebound from losing out on the Women's Championship to Alexa, losing out on her rematch. I think she needs the rebound more than Mickie needs to win here. All right. So with that being said, let's move on to the next women's match, which is Nikki Bella versus Natalya. Now, this one's a very personal rivalry. I think too much so, just because for the last couple of weeks it seems to have devolved to nothing more than these ladies be cray-cray. That's what it's pretty much come down to. It's basically they're just taking like very low.
So, Ken, what picks did I miss?
So far, we've done the women's title match, Alexa defending her title against Naomi, and we've got Becky versus Mickie. All right, do you want to get the camera on you so we can get the picks in? Mm-hmm. All right, so the first one would be Alexa.
Alexa, I'm picking Alexa. It says yes.
All right, so just a yes, not a definite.
Nope. And then what's the second one? Becky and
Mickie, so that would be Becky.
Don't count on it, so Mickie.
So Mickie. All right. Okay, so good. So good to know we're all caught up. Has Brian chimed in at all? Has he called in at all yet?
No.
All right.
Was he gonna call you?
Well, no. I was hoping he was gonna. Yeah. Well.
Is this your phone?
Yeah, that's my phone.
Oh, okay. No, he's got no calls.
Nothing yet. All right. Well, we'll see. Because we have to remember the bylaws here. If we can't have him in for the show where he won it on, and then the next preview or review show. If we can't have him in for either the show where he won it on or the next preview show, we would have to hold up the championship. We have to hold up the championship and determine a new winner. Nick, you remember that, right?
What happened? That if you don't show up, you can't.
So basically,
can't technically
if
hold
you miss the show that you win the championship on,
Yep.
so in this case, the review show for the Royal Rumble, and then the next preview show, then you vacate the championship because you're not here to defend it. You're not here to.
Not here.
If he calls in, then that's all.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Then it's all good. But if he doesn't call in before the end of the show, then we gotta go by the rules here. I set him up. I went him over with Greg. So all right. Let's hope he does call in. But all right, getting back to Nikki versus Natalya. Like I said, this whole thing is just I think kind of devolved into two just taking really personal low blow pot shots at one another. Natalya ragging on Nikki about her relationship with John Cena, how it's been the only reason Nikki even has a job in WWE, and how Nikki claims Natalya has just been coasting on her family's popularity in the wrestling industry for years on end. Natalya, of course, being the niece of Bret the Hitman Hart, and her father being Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So, it's good that they're trying to give this feud a little more interest and depth to it, but there is such a thing as like kind of going too low. Because last week on SmackDown, we had Natalya saying, "Well, you know what? If I wasn't already married, I would probably be with someone like John." So the fact that she's not only pretty much saying, "Oh, if I weren't married to the love of my life, I would be with the love of your life," more or less, which kind of like, I mean, even for soap operas, that kind of is just like, wow. That's just like, really, you're really gonna go that well?
We're going phonetic spelling back here.
Well, no, you should hear how my stepdad says it. He says it wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Like
well,
with two S's.
two S's and an H in there.
Wrestling. Yeah, you're gonna do your wrestling show, boy. Yeah, that's how.
All right,
that,
fire
I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking because that's exactly how he says it. Wrestling. All right, so, anyway, getting back to this. I mean, Nikki versus Natalia. We've been hearing the rumors recently. I mean, supposedly about how Nikki's neck injury has been causing her some serious problems. How she's been experiencing numbness in half of her body. How it seems like that her full-time in-ring career is pretty much winding up right here. How we haven't seen her performing nearly as much as we'd like. Well, not say as much as we like, just as much as she can. I mean, you know my stance on the Bellas. But that being said, I mean, considering that WrestleMania may be the last hurrah for Nikki, I'm actually going to go with Natalia on this one. I'm going to go with Natalia. Because I want to see what happens when, like, Nikki hits her lows, okay? So basically, just what happens if Nikki and John both have bad nights? Where does that leave them? Where does that leave them individually? Where does that leave them as a couple? I'm more curious to see what comes from there rather than, just, wow, yeah, that's not even close. Wrestling. Yeah, that's pretty much how you're saying it right now, phonetically speaking.
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
Kind of looks like reselling. Are you reselling the wrestling connection, Ken?
Selling. Yeah.
Oh, I can make here. We'll make it better.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I'm getting tongue-tied. All right. So anyway, like I said, I'm going with Natalia for this one. I think just like with Alexa, she'll use some underhanded means to really get the one-up on Nikki right here. I just think that it'll bring, if both Nikki and, like I said, Nikki and John, as I'll elaborate on a little bit later in the main event, both have bad nights, I see things kind of like coming to a head between the two of them and see what happens there. All right, so I'm going to go with Natalia for this one. All right, so we bring over to Nick in the control room. Nick, I believe this one would be Natalia that you'd be picking for since she's just above Nikki alphabetically.
There we go, Natalia. So Natalia. All right, let's see. Without a doubt, so Natalia.
Is that your lock?
No.
Well, I mean,
It is certain is a lock. I didn't get that
so
yet.
I mean, but without a doubt means the same exact thing.
I don't like that one.
Okay, you're the 8-ball. You're Mr. 8-ball. All right, so moving on from there, we come to a handicap match. Cruz and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler.
There it is.
All right, so this one pretty much came about when I mean Ziggler is just it seems like he's hit the bottom of his career since losing out on the Intercontinental Championship. Nothing's gone his way. He's had upset losses to both Cruz and Kalisto in recent weeks. He's spent most of it, and when he stopped showing off, when he's just stuck to his roots, when he's just come out guns blazing, he usually gets the job done in short fashion. In fact, a couple weeks in a row, he had Kalisto beat with no trouble at all. Just one super kick, boom, that does it. But Ziggler has proved to be very frustrated. Even after getting these wins, he assaults Kalisto and Cruz with steel chairs. So now Daniel Bryan, general manager of SmackDown, has had enough and has set up a handicap match with Ziggler going up against these two. Now, I mean, like I said, I'm not 100% on this. I mean, what's their ultimate plan here for Ziggler? I mean, the only way Ziggler gets any sort of worthwhile push, any worthwhile momentum, in terms of his heel turn, which it's supposed to mean something. If Ziggler loses here, his heel turn means absolutely nothing. Okay, he needs something more. He needs a worthwhile win here, and I'm thinking that's where it comes in. Like Ziggler will find some way to get the win here, possibly some miscommunication between Cruz and Kalisto, and I think Ziggler will get the win right here. Although, I mean, frankly, I would have gone with a triple threat match because, I mean, I feel like there could have been a little more room for that said miscommunication. But like, I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm going to go with Ziggler for the win right here because, I mean, if he doesn't get the win right here, then his heel turn means nothing. It means absolutely nothing for Ziggler in terms of his momentum or in terms of his shift in character. He needs to win here more than Kalisto and Cruz do because the fact that the crowd is cheering Ziggler when he's assaulting Cruz and Kalisto with steel chairs tells you just how much presence, it's like a weather map, Cruz and Kalisto have with the WWE Universe, which is pretty much none. That's the frustrating thing. So I'm going to go with Ziggler for this. All right, so we take it over to Nick. Let's see, it would be Kalisto, Apollo. So yeah, I guess Apollo and Kalisto, since
Apollo Cruz
comes first. So it'd be Apollo and Kalisto.
Apollo and Kalisto. Concentrate and ask again. Hold on.
Oi.
It is certain, so it's them.
Is that your lock?
That's
now?
my lock.
That's your lock. All right. All right. So I believe. Okay. Let's see. The next match we got on our plate is actually. This is an interesting one because this is one of the ones that we are going to be making first and second picks for because it's a multi-tag team match. Of course, you know what I'm talking about, tag team turmoil. Now, basically how tag team turmoil works, two teams will start it out in the ring in a typical match. Match is going to be won by a pinfall, submission, disqualification, or countout. When one team loses, they have to go to the back, and then the next team selected in the drawing comes on down. This happens until there are two teams remaining. The last team standing are the Smackdown Tag Team Champions. Now, this all came about when American Alpha was complaining how, hey, they didn't have a match at SmackDown, they didn't have a match at the Royal Rumble, they haven't defended the tag team titles since winning them against upsetting the Wyatt family for the belts. So they're looking for competition, and lo and behold, here comes pretty much the entire SmackDown tag team roster looking to challenge them. You got Febreze. Oh, I'm sorry, Breezango. You've got. Oh God, I gotta reach all the way over. I mean, camera's at a weird angle right here. All right, you got the Vaudevillains. You got Breezango. Of course, you got the tag team champions themselves, American Alpha. You've got the Usos. You got Slater and Rhino, and of course, on the very end right here, picking up the slack, is the Ascension. Now, here's the thing. All right, I mean, the tag team division has actually not gotten a whole lot of notice on SmackDown. They've been kind of in the dregs recently. Something American Alpha themselves acknowledged on air was that the SmackDown tag team division has not been getting a whole lot of notice, a lot of attention. And I appreciate that what they're trying to do. Okay, can you get Penn off of the screen, please? Come on, you're Nick, you're killing me. Come on. All right, so can we get a bit of a close-up, please? Thank you. Thank you.
Other display was off.
All right, so the point I'm trying to make is tag team division has not been getting a whole lot of attention right here. So American Alpha and the rest of the tag team division are looking to rectify that with a tag team turmoil match. Now, I appreciate that. I would have gone maybe with more of a tournament style to determine new number one contenders, but this works just as well. I love tag team turmoil. I love multi-man or multi-team chaos. So I can't really turn that.
So how many total teams is this? It looks like it's 6.
6 teams.
Yep, 6 teams. Okay.
You guys, you're not coming in.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Yeah.
How about now?
Loud and clear.
All right, so it's 6 teams.
It's 6 teams.
Okay.
Now, I mean, occasionally, I mean, this very rarely happens, but sometimes there will be an extra team added last minute. Now, supposedly, the rumor going around the dirt sheets is that the 2-time NXT Tag Team Champions, the Revival, would be making their debut in Tag Team Turmoil to help spice up the division. Now, take that with a grain of salt. I think that would actually be great to have an old school style tag team like the Revival on SmackDown to really help spice things up. But I feel like that kind of debut would be better saved for after WrestleMania, because like post WrestleMania is always the best time to debut new teams and new individual superstars. So I think they should hold off on that until after WrestleMania to get more of an impact with that. So meanwhile, we've got 6 teams to choose from right here. So the way this goes is we pick 2 teams. Our first pick, if they win, get 2 points. If our alternate or our second pick wins, they get 1 point. All right, so my first pick right here, I got to go with American Alpha, because none of the teams have really so much as left an impression. They've all just kind of been brawling and fighting each other. No one truly stands out. So I got to go with the tag champs for my first pick. Second pick, purely, and I'm just playing the odds right here, purely just because of the attention they've been getting for the last week on both Talking Smack from Daniel Bryan, how he said he used to tag team with Victor back in the day as the tag team Double Meat. Double Meat. Yeah, double Meat Patty. All right, so, and the fact that the Ascension got a big win in a 12-man tag team match. They got the pinfall in the 12-man tag team match this past week. All right, back on. All right. All right, so like I was saying, so sorry for the interruption, folks, technical difficulties. Like I said, my first pick, American Alpha. My second pick, just because of the attention we're getting, the fact they got a win this past week on SmackDown, I'm going to go with the Ascension. I mean, I understand their win was more of a way just to say, oh, hey, anyone can win in Tag Team Turmoil. But, I mean, just why not? I'm going to pick the Ascension for my second pick. Just, you know, just kind of like hedging my bets right here. So, all right, so I got that. So, Nick, I mean, how are you gonna do this one? Because I mean, you gotta go with 2 picks right here.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
All right, so let's go this alphabetically. You got.
All right, hold on. You know what? Hold on. I got an idea. All
right, so how are we gonna do this?
All right, I have dice, so we're gonna use those.
All right, so let's see this. Let's get the control room up.
All right. I'm gonna take you off for a sec.
All right.
All right. So, is each team kind of standing next to each other?
Yes.
All right. So we're just gonna do one from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right.
All right. So, my number 1 teamer, I'll put you back up.
Okay.
Will be number 4.
So that would be American Alpha.
Okay. There we go.
Wow.
All right. And then team 2. If I roll a 4 again, I'll obviously re-roll.
Of course.
3.
3. So okay, your first pick will be American Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Your second pick will be the Usos.
The Usos. Okay.
Left to right. All right. All right. So. You were doing that left to right, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it will be your first pick will be American Alpha. Second pick will be the Usos.
Yep.
Not bad pick.
No.
Not bad picks. All right, so there's the tag team turmoil match. Our next match on the card is Luke Harper versus Randy Orton. Now,
there it is.
Now this one I think is pretty cut and dry. I mean, I'll explain it. I'll explain just a little bit. I think this one's pretty cut and dry. Okay, you got Orton's won the Royal Rumble. All right, you want to keep him fresh. Oh, hold on just a minute. Oh, look who it is! It's Mr. Dorrington Jr.
Tell him to call the station.
All right. Howdy, Bry. No, yeah, try. We already started. Yeah, try calling the station. The station. Alrighty. Bye. All right. Don't you just love that in the middle of the show? Bzz, bzz. Okay. So anyway, trying to get to was we got Harper versus Orton right here. This one just stems from the fact that Orton kind of weaseled his way into being a part of the Wyatt family. We'll have Brian on in just a moment.
Hey, Brian. Byron Dorrington? Yeah, it's close enough. I'll take it. You want me to be live in about 10 seconds, all right? Hold on. All right, Brian, can you hear us? I can. Wonderful. So where are we at?
All right. Well, we're actually one match away from the main event already. So.
All right. Well.
Ooh. So yeah, let's try and get you up to speed right here. All right.
Yeah,
the first match we had.
The first matches. I got some good things to say. I won't be too long. I'll just do a quick recap on my thoughts.
Oh, okay. So did you just want us to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. Just let's if you don't mind, like you can just start reading me off what matches you talked about, and I'll just give you my quick picks and some analysis.
All right. So the first match we had was Alexa Bliss versus Naomi for the Smackdown Women's Championship.
So as much as I like Naomi, one of the originals from the well, not one of the originals, but one of the still holdouts from the Diva era, and
Right.
a great athlete. Don't think it's time to take the belt away from Alexa Bliss right now. It's not. They've been playing hot potato with that belt a little bit too much, and I think Naomi's going to get the championship soon, but I don't think it's going to be at Elimination Chamber. I'm definitely going with Alexa Bliss.
I thought so too. Just because, like, I mean, WrestleMania is going to be Orlando. Orlando's in Naomi's hometown, and usually WWE usually has their hometown heroes either lose on the big stage or win on the big stage in their hometown. So I thought that would be the better way to go, just to have her win the championship and get like a big undercard pop, kind of like to start off WrestleMania, right?
Sorry, you said you went with Naomi?
I agreed with you. I went with Alexa.
Oh, you agree?
I think they're going to hold.
Yeah.
I think they're going to hold off on Naomi winning until WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania is usually when you see the faces, the feel-good stories.
Exactly.
I feel this might be kind of a heel-heavy night, but we'll see. So what was the other match you guys got?
All right. So the next match we had after that was Mickie James versus Becky Lynch. For that one, I went with Becky just because I feel like Mickie is in the Chris Jericho role of putting over new talent.
Wow. Well, so I'm going to go against you with this one. I think Mickey's one of the older veterans that they're going to bring back, and she lost at her last comeback pay-per-view. She lost at Royal Rumble. It wasn't a one-on-one match, but she was on the losing team,
Right.
Which I don't think either you or I were expecting.
Nope.
So I think that in order to put over new talent, you still have to be a credible component, and you're going to need some wins to do that. And even though Elimination Chamber isn't a big pay-per-view, I still think Mickie pulls off the win here.
All right. No, fair enough. All right. So the next one we had after that was I believe was actually the third women's match of that night, was Nikki Bella versus Natalya. Now, I went with this for a couple of reasons. I stated that just because Nikki, it seems like with her neck injury mounting, how she's been complaining about having numbness in part of her body, it just seems like her full-time like wrestling career is winding to a close right here. How she may settle into a part-time role, and I'm thinking just because I'm more fascinated to see what would happen if both she and John both had bad nights here, where that would take them leading into WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, I've actually heard it's even worse than that. I'm hearing that she might retire immediately after WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that wouldn't surprise me. And I am too gonna go with Nikki Bella here.
Actually, I went with Natalia actually on this one.
Oh, you went with Natalia. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Well, I'm gonna go with Nikki for the fact that this could be her last hurrah, and she might need to go out on top because if you've seen, she still had the belt, the women's belt for the longest period.
Oh yeah, the longest reigning Divas champion. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're going to send somebody out like that has that type of record, you got to send them off on a high note.
Well,
if WrestleMania really is her last, then she deserves a win here and at WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, I can appreciate that, but I mean, I subscribe to the whole, like, Undertaker's old school belief that the best way to go out is on your back. So, I respect that. I get where you're coming from. Like, I'll elaborate on why I think both she and John are going to have bad nights in the main event when we come to it. I just think it's going to go in a different direction than what you're thinking.
No, yeah, and this could be a toss-up, but I'm confident on that one. I'm going to make that my lock of the night.
You're going to make Nikki Bella your lock of the night. All right.
Yep.
All right, so the next one we had on tap was the handicap match with Kalisto and Cruz versus Dolph Ziggler. And I picked Ziggler with this one just because, for a couple reasons. One, they need to make the heel turn mean something right here. I mean, if he has no momentum coming into this, the heel turn didn't really mean anything. And the fact that, I'm sure you've been watching Smackdown at some point for the last couple of weeks. The fact that they're cheering Ziggler for this shift in character, beating up Kalisto and Cruz, still cheers, I think says just as much about how they love the new Dolph Ziggler as much as the lack of presence Kalisto and Cruz have with the WWE audience, which I find funny.
Yeah, I can hear that. I also think it's a weird reversal that you're seeing a heel in the handicap match. It's usually the face that has to overcome the two heels. But I think that I'm going to go against you again on this one. I think Ziggler bit off a little bit more than he can chew, and I don't think he can have. He should not. Kalisto and Apollo Crews are two credible guys. They should not lose in a handicap match. I think that they're going to beat Ziggler and beat him fairly quickly, but I think you're going to see Ziggler snap after his loss and maybe use some chairs or some kind of weapons and beat them both down at the end. But I think he's going to bite off a little bit more than he can chew, and he's going to lose the match itself.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. All right, so the next match coming up after that, I believe, was the tag team turmoil match with the 6 teams right here. Now, the way we're doing this, I think I explained this to you. I don't know if I told you this through text, is that we're going to go with
I saw that.
first and second picks. So basically, your first pick gets 2 points, second pick gets 1 point. All right, so just like, okay, so you got the tag champs, American Alpha. You got the Usos, the Ascension, Vaudevillains, Heath Slater and Rhino, and Breezango, or Febreze, as we all should be calling them. Breezango. Breezango. Yeah.
Okay, so did you already start this, or do you want me to start?
We already did start this one, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with American Alpha. I think that, once again, you want to establish a tough tag team.
Right.
You don't want to play hot potato too much. They're my number 1 pick.
Right.
And my number 2 pick, who could easily also win this match, are the Usos. With their comeback and their new heel presence, I'm going to choose them as my second pick.
Yeah, you and Nick kind of had the same thing going right there, except Nick was more with a roll of the dice. I basically just went with the Ascension, just because they've really been getting talked up for the last week. I mean, they had the win on SmackDown in the 12-man tag match. You got Daniel Bryan bringing up how the Ascension have basically been kind of dragging their heels since coming up to the main roster, and how they've been kind of like trying to find an opening to bigger and better things, and tag team turmoil could be it. So that's why I went the Ascension for the second pick. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I thought I was crazy going with Ryder last year at WrestleMania to win the Intercontinental title, and yet, look what happened.
It happened. Yeah, he didn't hold it for long, but it happened.
Yeah, crazier things have happened. So I mean, you never know. You never know. I agree with you. They shouldn't hot potato the title. That's why I went with American Alpha for my first pick right here. So I mean, so
yeah, they need to win. They need to establish.
right, because they have.
presence.
I mean, they pointed out themselves they haven't defended since winning the belts from the Wyatts. So I mean, they need to have kind of like they need to have a solid reign right here. They can't just hot shot it before WrestleMania. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and they're very talented people.
Oh,
so they
extremely.
deserve it. And I love seeing them in the ring, and I'd love to see them defend the belt. You know.
I'm just counting the days until Kurt Angle returns and he's their manager. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. A very Team Angle vibe. That's what I'm feeling right there. All right, so I believe that brings us to the match we were at right as what you called in was Luke Harper versus Randy Orton. Now, obviously we know the background for this one. Orton, we kind of weaseled his way into the Wyatt family. He and Bray actually even won the tag team titles at one point. And Harper's kind of been on the outside looking in right here as the kind of like the forgotten son, the erstwhile son of the Wyatt family. And he basically, and when things started going south for the Wyatt family, he let Orton and Bray know as much that he's basically done. He's tired of being doubted. He's tired of being the one on the outside looking in, and he's going to forge his own path. So he essentially severed ties. He let Orton know just as much, and he even severed ties with Bray, who seemed to still have some control over him. But as of this past Tuesday on Smackdown, that seems to be no longer the case. So there's the background for this match. But this, as for the result right here, I mean, I think it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, Orton lost his match.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
Uh-oh.
If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Uh-oh. We didn't lose Brian, did we?
Yeah, we might have.
Uh-oh. Okay, I think we need to. We need to.
If you'd like to make a call,
Yeah,
please
you can go and
up
hang that
try
up.
again.
No
yeah.
callback.
Okay. Jeez. Oh, we've been having a field day right here. All right, so let's see.
It's the off button.
I got it. All right. So we need to get. How do we get him back?
No callback. It's too. He's never coming back. It's too late.
Jeez. All right. Apologize for this, folks. That's all right. All right, we're putting it back on now. All right, there we go. Back on?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Can we hear him? He's coming in? All right.
Yeah, we're back.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So,
So,
yeah, sorry, you were saying?
so I was saying about well, we're going to do a lot of editing for this. All right.
Not really.
Oh, okay. So, so basically, I think even though it's an interesting storyline, I think the result here is pretty cut and dry. Orton is the Royal Rumble winner. You gotta keep him fresh going into WrestleMania. So I think I'm going with Orton right here. I'm actually gonna make Orton my lock of the night, just because I think this one's like pretty simple to me. I like Harper's new shift in character. I think he's gonna be a big time breakout star. I think this is actually gonna be a very underrated match right here. I think it's gonna be the match of the night, in my opinion, because Harper can put on some great matches when he is motivated. I mean, we've seen that in his matches with Ambrose and Ziggler in the past. So I think this will be a very interesting match. But I'm going with Orton. He's my lock.
Yeah, and that does seem like the logical route, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Luke Harper.
Really?
It's because it's Randy Orton's going to probably lose his mind and get disqualified. I think Randy Orton's going to end up beating him up, but I think he's going to end up getting disqualified and lose the match. I think he's going to lose the match, but he's going to win the war, and he's going to destroy Luke Harper. But it will be a great match. But I'm going to go with Luke Harper. And
so you don't think it'll be a clean ending? It'll just be like a disqualification.
Yeah, exactly. I think he'll get disqualified. I think they'll hit him with a chair.
No. I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah.
All right.
But you're right. Orton has to look good here heading into the main event of WrestleMania for sure.
He does. I mean, if Luke did somehow pull out the win right here, whether like you said by disqualification or by some other means, they could possibly set up a triple threat match. You know, the Wyatt family explodes. You know, kind of like that. I mean, a triple threat would be interesting, but I feel like the main goal right here is setting up Orton versus Wyatt.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
We will. All right. So now we take it over to Nick in the control room. Nick, So it's gonna be. It's actually gonna be Luke. Actually, Luke Harper.
Luke.
Alphabetically speaking, yeah.
Most likely.
All right, so he's going with Luke too. I mean, this is interesting. I thought this one was going to be a pretty cut and dry, but I mean, see, like you said, we'll see what happens. It could go disqualification. I mean, either way, I think Orton needs to come out of this looking his best, looking his most vicious. So I mean, like, DQ is definitely in the likelihood right there. All right, so let's move on to the main event of the evening of Elimination Chamber. We got the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. You've got challengers. You got the Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose. You got Bray Wyatt. You got The Miz, Baron Corbin, of course, the former champion AJ Styles, going up against the 16-time world champion John Cena. Now, let's just cut to the quick right here. Cena's not winning this match. Cena's not winning the match. Let's just.
I disagree.
Look, okay.
I disagree too.
They just had the main event on Smackdown. You really think they're going to do a repeat of Orton versus Cena at WrestleMania? You really think they're going to go that route?
Yep.
I never said that. How much longer? How long do we have until WrestleMania?
So it would. All right. So we would have. Let's see. We would have Fastlane coming up in 2 weeks. Then on April 2nd would be WrestleMania. So roughly, like a little over a month.
Okay, and can you drop the belt in a month on SmackDown to build the hype for WrestleMania?
You could drop it in a month, but I think it would be best served if you dropped the belt here to give more time for the build-up. If you drop it with like 2 weeks to go before WrestleMania, then where's the build-up?
Well, what I'm going to tell you is, and I even think they might give us Cena versus Orton for WrestleMania. I think Vince wants to shove it down people's throats, and the kids would love that match. Fans who've been watching forever are so bored of it. But I just picture this the perfect time to do the swerve. Everybody keeps talking about Bray versus Randy. Everybody keeps saying that's going to happen. Everybody's so confident Bray is going to win this match, and that's going to be the main event at WrestleMania. No, I think that this is going to be. Maybe that was in the works, but now that it's so out there, we're going to see a big swerve, and John Cena is going to retain.
Okay, but Brian, the match has been done to death. I mean, okay, even when they revisited Cena and Orton in 2014, people didn't care. No one cared about this feud. No one cared about the fact that Orton. They had to bring back Cena's dad just to generate some interest in, like, with Orton beating him up, Cena's dad up again. That's how badly they need to generate interest for this, because otherwise they wouldn't have cared about these two being the top superstars. Are they top superstars? Oh, you're darn right. Of course they are. No one's doubting that. I'm not doubting that. No one thinks. It's just that they've exhausted this feud so much. They've revisited so many times, and yes, the first time ever on SmackDown, these two are facing each other. Okay, but it's not like the first time they've ever faced each other. Okay, they faced each other dozens of times over the years, and they need a switch. I mean, Vince keeps talking about how has been talking about since the start of 2017 how he's no longer thinking short term. He's thinking long term. Okay, Cena versus Orton is not a long-term goal. He stated for the record he's thinking long-term. I mean, I'll even bring up the article that says so if you need proof at some point. I will bring it up to you. It shows that Vince was thinking long-term, not short-term right here. Short-term, yes, Cena versus Orton would be a good main event.
I understand what you're saying, but how many times did we see Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning? Did anybody ever get sick of it?
No.
Okay, but in the same
the
token,
two top guys.
okay, but comparing football fans and wrestling fans.
Are you ready for some football?
Comparing,
I'm talking about
comparing football fans and
the hardcore fans are going to be upset. Sure.
Okay, but people seem to forget that
Don't
hardcore
let Randy Orton
fans
go.
make up like the central core of wrestling fans. Okay, yeah, okay, you have the kiddies out there that are going to have their parents plunk down money for Cena and Orton merchandise. But again, you're going to have the core group of wrestling hardcore fans who are not going to want to see this.
But you're going to anyway. Would you really not watch it if it's John Cena or Randy Orton?
Honestly, if you're asking me right now, no, I'm not going to watch it.
You wouldn't watch WrestleMania.
I would not watch WrestleMania. I'm telling you this right now. I want to see change. And if it means I have to sit on my hands and not do a review and not do a show for it, then yeah, that's exactly what I'll do.
Okay.
All right? So that's why I'm going with Bray Wyatt here, okay? Because it's the Wyatt-Orton feud has been simmering for months. They say Wyatt's going to say he's going to free the WWE Championship. So why not have Orton try to deny him that, undermine him by freeing the championship from Bray Wyatt? That makes much more sense, and it would actually make things just a mite more fresher than going back to Cena and Orton for about the 1,000th time. Here's the thing,
Well,
okay?
I could all.
Go ahead. You there?
Bray Wyatt, maybe because something that happens at Elimination Chamber. Maybe Bray should have got the win, but somebody interferes or something like that, a freak accident, and then Bray Wyatt's granted a match, and then he loses it on, and then he wins on SmackDown clean. That could happen too.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
You know what, WrestleMania? I'm not predicting WrestleMania right now. I'm just predicting Elimination Chamber. I'm going with John Cena.
Okay, but here's the problem with your argument about the whole thing with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Okay, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, you see that like once, maybe even twice in a year, if you're lucky. Once, twice in a year. With Cena and Orton, they seem to revisit it almost every year, which is the problem. Like in some shape or form, you've got Cena and Orton going up against each other, whether it's 2014, whether it's 2012, 2011, 2010, even going all the way back to like 2007, 2008. It seems like you had these two face off against each other an inordinate amount of times. You need a change. That's the bottom line. Okay, where you're talking with Peyton and Brady, they only face off a select number of times. With Cena and Orton, there's the possibility that they could revisit it pretty much any time in the future. Like I mean with the Smackdown match. Like the first time ever on Smackdown. I mean, how many more first times between Orton and Cena can you possibly have?
A lot.
No.
I hear your pick. I would love for AJ Styles to win this match.
All right, so you're going to go with Cena for your first pick and AJ for your second pick?
Yes.
Okay. The way I see it going...
No, wait. Sorry. Are we doing two picks?
We're doing two picks just because this is a multi-man match.
So
Just,
two points for first, one for second?
Right.
yeah.
I was just saying I would love for AJ to win it. My second pick is Bray Wyatt.
Your second pick is Bray Wyatt. Interesting. So...
I would love AJ to win, but I'm not picking him.
All right, so you love to see AJ, but you don't see him winning it.
No.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go reverse right here, just like you, just to hedge my bets right here. I'm going to go with Bray Wyatt as my first pick and John Cena as my second pick. The other reason I say this is that you've got the rumored mixed tag match coming up with Cena and Nikki against Miz and Maurice, which would imply, that Miz gets involved whether before or after he gets eliminated, most likely after he gets eliminated, and costs Cena the championship. just to set that up. I mean, it would be interesting. I mean, it'd be the first time Maurice gets in the ring. It would be nice. It would be even more interesting to see Cena and Nikki team up for the first time on air as a couple. Just to see where that goes. I mean, there's even the rumor that they could have kind of like a Macho Man Elizabeth moment at WrestleMania, where Cena finally proposes to Nikki. But that's grasping at straws right there. That's a big time rumor. So I mean.
Okay.
So
all right. So who does Nick got? I gotta wrap this up soon, guys. So let's fix it.
All right. So same thing as last time, Ken. So from left to right. Number 4.
That'd be Cena, of course.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. What are the odds?
All right.
1 in 6.
Number
Right?
So what about Ambrose? Ambrose.
Is 2.
2. So yeah. Okay. So Cena is number 1 for Nick, and Nick's number 2 pick is Ambrose. It'd be interesting. All right. So let's see. So what are we going to do for match time here? Because, I mean, we know the Elimination Chamber is going to be at least 20 minutes. Simply because of
It'll be longer than that.
Yeah, longer than that. So, all right. So what are we going to pick for a main... So what are we going to do for a main event match time? All right. Let's go with... let's just go with the Elimination Chamber. Let's go with the Elimination Chamber. All right. So we know this is going to be a lengthy match. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to go with 45 minutes. I'm just going to go solid 45 minutes for this one.
Nope. All right, I'm gonna go 45:01.
Oh,
Huh.
of course.
All
Of course.
right. Let's see.
And if we know if my luck is any indication, it'll be 45:02 for Nick.
All right. 41 minutes
Okay.
and 35 seconds.
All right, fair enough. All right, so 41:35 for Nick, 45 solid for me, and 45:01 for Brian.
Can I go 45.05?
Oh, don't start with that.
Hey, and are we getting picks? Are we getting picks from Julie and Greg?
I already texted Greg. I already texted him the card, so I'm hoping to hear back from him. Julie could not be in the studio today, so haven't been able to get picks from her.
So what? She will get picks or she won't?
She's not going to get picks.
Oh, what if you're there for the next show?
I mean, okay. I mean, if she can text her picks into me too, then that'd be great. But if she doesn't get them in by the end of the day today, then I gotta.
Yeah. No, we need more competition. So I'd like to have more people involved.
Okay. Well, that's why I already texted Greg. That's the point I'm trying to make right here. All right. So if Julie can get back to me before the day is out today, then yes, I'll count her picks as well. But if she can't, then tough luck.
All right, guys. Thanks. I got to run, but good show.
All
All
right.
right.
everybody.
Thanks, Brian. See you soon.
All right.
See you soon.
See ya.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so that's all. So that's all for that. That's all for our Elimination Chamber pay-per preview. Like I said, I'll be doing live coverage this Sunday, starting at 7 o'clock on the WrestlingConnection.com's WK pay-per preview page. So keep an eye out for that on Sunday night, 7 p.m. sharp. So we're doing live coverage of that. So and then next Friday we'll have our Elimination Chamber pay-per review. We will be going over all the results and tabulations. All right, at 3 p.m. sharp on next Friday, episode 155. But in the meantime, folks, remember as always to be connected, get connected, stay connected.
Stay connected.
Yeah, have a good weekend, folks.
I've heard it too
Many times to ignore it.
It's
Some things that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it. The wrestling connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da doo. Da 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 dee da doo.
Oh yeah!